球の心と物質
Hell yeah.
Boom.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey, we got to just do this pose right now. Just.
I can't even know. I don't know the post. I didn't see it before. So I'm just guessing.
But welcome back,
welcome
boys
back.
and girls.
Welcome back, lads and gentlemen.
Lads and gals.
And gals, Zers.
Doggos and cats.
Everything. Everyone.
Giraffes and aths.
All yous. All yous. Welcome
All
back.
yous motherfuckers out there.
Welcome the fuck back to Earth, Mind, and Matter.
Welcome the fucks backs.
We talk about what's happening on the Earth.
In our minds.
And this is why it matters. But today we're on the A.M.C. section.
A.M.C. section.
Tell the people what the A.M.C. section is, Harvey. What the fuck is that?
Frankie, I'm so glad that you asked. I'll tell you what the A.M.C. section is
What's
right
up, dog?
right about now, dog.
What's up?
So, last week we talked about the news, right? Mm-hmm. On this show, we always cycle between the news and our A.M.C. section.
Yes, we do.
Albums, movies, and comics.
Hell yeah.
And this week, we are talking about an album.
Yep, we are.
And if you didn't watch last episode, which the fuck you doing on this episode?
Bro, come on. What else can you watch? And there's literally like us and Joe Rogan.
Like seriously, man. Go watch last episode. Go fucking learn about Jimmy Kimmel and George Santos.
Yep.
Go learn about the green boo bubble discourses.
Cobalt mining all. You know?
Like, come on. What you doing looking just jumping ahead?
Bro,
like
you got nothing better to do than listen to us.
Like seriously.
What are you doing, step bro?
Come on, man.
Who recorded that? Such a silly, emphatic way. What are you doing? Step Bro's just chilling like, yo, chill out.
Right?
chill
just
the
like
fuck
eating
out.
some chips or something. Like, what?
I'm jerking it. Obviously.
But in the spirit of porn,
Yeah.
we're looking at the Dune Part 2 popcorn bucket.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what? No, but today's a very special day, because we are on the album section. And did we say what we were covering already? We said it last week, but you tell the people what we're covering. What album are we covering today?
We are covering Green Day's newest album, Saviors.
Yes, we are. And holy shit, man. Jesus Christ, man. That's my reaction right now because I'm not gonna lie, the last episode we shot was centered around news. So while I was on my way over here, I was listening to the album because I knew we were gonna shoot afterwards to talk about the album. But then I realized since I left the studio, right, from the last episode, I started this album, and then I realized I have not looked into any news. All I've been doing is listening to this album, like nonstop. It's been podcasts and this album, and so on the walk over here, I was like, I need to fucking talk about some news. Thank God you had some good shit last episode because I didn't know nothing. All I know is like this abortion pill and some guy in Hawaii is buying all the land. I had no news to talk about.
Abortion pill, Hawaii.
But that's how much I've been listening to this motherfucker album because it's so fucking good.
Nice, man.
And I've never been like a Green Day fan to the point where I'm like, wow, this is my favorite band. I knew songs like Holiday, American Idiot, and 21 Guns, which I really liked.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember when that song came out, 21 Guns, not a lot of people were a fan of it. That's just what I remember.
Right.
You know? I don't know how true that was, but that's all I pretty much knew. And then listening to this whole album, I don't know what year it came out. You know?
Interesting.
Because I seen it and I was like, when the fuck did this shit come out? You know? I didn't want to look into it. I just gave it one listen, and I've been obsessed ever since. So that's just how I want to start going into this.
Nice. I mean, I'll tell you right away, like, this album came out in January. January 19th.
Just came out.
And what I think is really interesting of what you just said about you couldn't tell what year this album came out. I'll just throw this out there right away, is that that's something apparently that I learned or learning into Green Day's history.
Yeah.
That's something that they always tried to do whenever they made their music.
They did it with Dookie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we watched the same documentary or not, but I watched the documentary last night, and they were I'm telling you, bro. I'm like a big fan of Green Day.
look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like again, I've always liked their major hits, and that's why and that song, Basket Cakes. Sometimes I give myself the creeps.
And really great news and great synergy for that song right now because it just hit 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Let's fucking go.
So Green Day has hit the 1 billion streams club.
You got any horns? Pew, pew, pew. I can't even. Close enough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited to talk about it because I don't know if you noticed, but I can't even express how excited I am because, man, I really enjoy this album. And midway through the week coming, and I know we didn't shoot last week, so even more so time to listen to it. Mm-hmm. But midway, I just kept listening to it back to back. And usually when we cover albums, when we do this on the show, we pick what we want to cover. So sometimes it's more so your preference of music or my preference of music, movie or comic. And this one, man, really fucking hooked me. And it was only until last night I looked into a mini documentary and an interview, and I listened to basically half the album again. But I've listened to it over and over and over again. And with Dookie, all I know is that the interviewer asked them, right? I know it's called Billy, Trey, and Mike,
yes.
Right? So that's the three guys. And they asked them like about how you wanted it to sound. They were like, we wanted it to never sound like this time period or this time period, just for it to always exist in its own, kind of bubble in terms of music,
right.
Everlasting. And I was like, that's amazing. Timeless is what I think they were trying to say, but pretty much. And I've never listened to Dookie.
Wow.
Ever. I don't even put if Basket Case is on it.
Yes.
That's what it is. And again, I'm familiar with Green Day, so maybe I know a couple of their songs.
I definitely know for a fact if I played some songs off of Dookie, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know this song.
And I was gonna listen to it on the way here, but I was telling myself, let me just focus on Saviors, because one, I really fucking enjoy it, and if I get too involved into to Dookie, then I'll just sidetrack.
I mean, while we are talking about Saviors, I think just in general we are just sort of talking about the band as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think it is fine to just sort of talk about these other things as well, because since you watched that interview, you should know that this year is also the 30th anniversary of Dookie.
Yep.
And as well, Double Entendre, where it's a 20th anniversary of American Idiot.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, bro.
It's a pretty big year for Green Day right now, and they are going on a massive world tour right now, and where they're going to be playing both albums in full, mixed with like new songs from Saviors. I want
to go to that fucking concert, bro. Because I also looked up the performance in Irving Plaza that you told me you missed.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and it's they're older, so it's harder to perform as energetically as they could before and stuff like that. But they still put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
And these are hard songs to sing. That guy Billy Joe Armstrong, that's hard shit that he's doing on stage. So I get it. Like, you can't do it perfectly, and they're just starting to do that shit.
Right.
But fucking, I wish I was there, bro. I wish I was there. Because it's incredible. Like this album, if you've never ever heard anything from Green Day, which is probably impossible, I would say.
Yeah. And that's not even to be like, come on.
Yeah.
But it's like
literally they're everywhere.
Yeah. Because I once saw an interesting conversation on Reddit where someone was saying that, like, because I saw Green Day when we were young last October. And leading up to it, a lot of people were more excited to see Blink instead of Green Day. Yeah. Even though Green Day was ending the night. And even at the festival, a lot more people were wearing Blink shirts over Green Day shirts and things of that nature. And so I really felt like, people were really there for Blink. Yeah. But by the end of the night,
you could see that everybody's there for Green Day.
Yeah. And just on top of that as well, I just thought that was so interesting because Blink and Green Day have had such an interesting relationship over the years.
Really?
Where even if I show you right now, so this is the back of their cover, right?
Yeah.
Of for Saviors. I'll put it up to the camera. I'll also put it up on what camera am I? This one. But yeah, I'll also put it up on the edit as well. But what's really interesting about that is that now if I show you the cover to Blink's newest album that came out in October, One More Time, this is the cover to it.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Oh, so it's literally the same exact thing.
So they've had a very interesting relationship for a long time in terms of that. I don't think they really get along too well.
That's interesting.
Interesting. There's nothing like concrete or evidential that says that anywhere out
Just
there.
Just your personal opinion off the vibe.
Right, because I saw an excerpt from Mark Hoppus, bassist to Blink, who said something along the lines of like that. Wow, because Green Day came out first before Blink. They're older than Blink,
bro. Yeah, I'll go on to that afterwards because I'm just mind blown, bro. Yeah,
and so what Mark Hoppus said is that Green Day kind of sort of paved the way for Blink to really blossom the way that they did. Yeah, in the time, because the two bands toured together one year, I think 2002 or 3, one of those years. But they toured together for the Pop Punk Disaster Tour, is what it was called, and he said that during that tour, he thinks like that was sort of during the time where a lot of people kind of thought that Green Day was maybe a little washed.
Yeah.
Like they were maybe kind of losing it a little bit. But Mark Hoppus likes to think that tour is kind of what helped them get back sort of on track in a way. And so they've always had sort of this like give and pull relationship with each other.
Yeah.
But it's like, I never really see them talk about each other or like really say anything, like shout each other out or anything like that.
Shout out Green Day.
Like even at the festival, Green Day was Billy Joe Armstrong was like, you know what they say, save the best for last type of deal.
Oh, okay.
And
he was like, thank you for the show. And now Blink-182.
Yeah. And
or whatever.
Well, Green Day went last.
No, I know, I was joking.
Yeah,
if you were to bring him up.
Yeah. But and also like the day that Green Day's album came out, Blank posted a picture on Instagram of them rehearsing for their new tour.
Interesting.
And so it's just like,
rather than like shout out Green Day or like appreciate them.
Yeah. So it's just I find the relationship very interesting where it's like, what's going on here, guys?
You know what? I never really understood how I just literally just learned last night how influential and what's it called? Like how huge Green Day is to punk. Mm-hmm. I've never understood. I always thought they were just another band in the realm of it,
right?
And that there were always people in the past who have, and I don't know much about punk's history. Like I know the names, like, and I'll bring them up again later. But like the Sex Pistols and stuff like that, like how Green Day is such an iconic band for the future of punk since they came out. If that makes any sense,
yeah.
And it's incredible, man, because they've literally been around now for decades and eras of people's lives. Mm-hmm. And I remember listening to Holiday when it was on Tony Hawk's Game. Yeah. And I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, Holiday. You know, like
did I ever show you the video that I recorded of them playing it when we were young?
No, you should show me though later though. Put that shit up here, man.
As soon as it came on, I was like, I gotta record this for Frankie.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Man, and then again, American Area is so great and all that stuff. Those are the songs that I know, my core three, right? But then you learn about their history, about coming up, and basically, man, they're just amazing people. That Billy Joe guy, I actually wanted to show you. If you can, you type in on YouTube Green Day doc. Just write those 3 words because that's literally what I googled. Because again, I didn't want to take my research too serious. I just wanted to like watch one little thing, right? And what's it called?
Which one is it?
The first one. It should be by. Let me see.
Is it called The Early Years?
Yeah. Pause. We're gonna pause the recording. Come right back, boy. So we should. I don't know if we can put that up on the video, but we gotta somehow put that shit up or link it. But if we didn't, what we just showed is at the concerts, Billy Joe pulled up like on 2 separate occasions 2 kids to play guitar on stage. Man, that's not beautiful as fuck.
I saw that when we were young.
No fucking way,
he did it
man.
both nights.
Jeez
and I actually have a funny story about that too because he did it the first night and then he did it which I didn't know about, and then he did it the second night. Yeah. And when it happened, like there was some kid at the barrier and like the Billy Joe's like, I need someone on stage to play this song. And he starts looking at this kid and the camera is pointing down at him, and Billy Joe's like, how old are you even? And he goes, I'm 17. And he goes, like, how long have you even fucking been listening to us?
Yo.
And he goes, I don't know, since I was like 7.
Nice.
And so like he just pulls him on stage. He's like, all right, that's good enough for me. Nice. He pulls him on stage and like he gives him the guitar, starts showing him the chords he has to play. And like he's getting there. It's like
kind of going.
He's getting there. Maybe like 30, 40 seconds passes and everyone's kind of like, ooh.
Is it going to happen?
Yeah. And he gets the chords and he just starts strumming more and more. And then boom, he just fucking gets it. And he just starts shredding on the guitar.
Man.
And it was such an awesome moment. And by the end of that moment,
Yeah.
he let the kid keep the guitar, and on top of that, he said that he did a lot better than the kid last night.
No.
And then,
Nice.
and then later on Reddit, I saw that
Yeah.
someone retold the story of what happened the first night, and that apparently like these parents brought their kid with them to the festival and basically sort of trained their kid for this moment
No
to
way.
go on stage. And the kid got up there and couldn't do the
bombed.
chords and bombed, and Billy Joe just kind of like shoot him off stage and continued with the set. And I was like, damn.
Either way, the fact that he brings like kids on stage to play in front of a crowd that, can you imagine? Like, it's been huge before, now even huger and bigger. Man, those two clips, when I saw those shits, that like certified. I'm like, this band is literally pure love.
Yeah, man.
Like pure love for their fans, for the music they put in. And I'll go into the segment of can you just Google a couple things, but Gilman Theater, you know what that is?
I don't think so.
Look up 942 Gilman Theater, or whatever. Tell me what it says.
The
Like,
Howard Gilman Theater
read about it. Read about it.
is mostly associated with being the springboard for the 90s punk revival led by bands like Green Day, Operation Ivy, Rancid, AFI, and The Offspring.
So, what's it called? The Gilman Theater? Was it?
Gilman. It's just called Gilman.
Just called Gilman, right? So what I was learning about in the documentary is that basically what they had happening was this kind of emergence of the punk scene, right? And basically you weren't able to do drugs in there. You weren't able to be racist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic, none of that stuff. You weren't allowed to bring your dog because it would hurt your dog's ears.
Yeah.
Like, and basically you weren't allowed to play on stage if you were famous. So if you were like this big name, you weren't allowed on stage.
Right.
So Green Day would go there with their old drummer, I think started with the name of John, right?
Yes.
And now they have the Trey guy, right?
Yeah.
So they would go on stage, play and stuff like that. And then they were, working with like Lookout Studios. Anyway, that's whatever. But the love within that room was so crucial, and how it basically emerged to them going on tour later on when they were more famous, right? With a group called Pansy Division. You know who they are?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're super gay, I would say, like, that's the only way to put it, right? And when they had Pansy Division open for Green Day, a lot of people would be in the crowd and they'd be like, what the fuck is this? Because their lyrics are crazy. Like one of the songs is like, Welcome to the Cocksucker Club or something like that. And what's it called? I think the Trey guy or the Mike guy was like, yeah, man, so we had our fans like listen to this for the first time, and they'll be like rocking out, and then they'll be like, oh, what the fuck is this, And then the way he said it, he was like, it had the fans deal with their inner homophobia and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, like, some of them, not all of them, some people,
Right.
but again, they were like, yeah, we're gonna have these guys open up for us because who the fuck cares? Like, they make good music, they rock out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's incredible, man.
even to sort of, because that's something I've always felt with Green Day, and like especially
I think that with punk in general, everything you show me has always been inclusive. It's never been. I mean, there's people who have like Nazi punk and stuff like that. Those are the fuckheads. But I'm saying like
Green Room
exactly.
episode 31.
Hell yeah, man. But no, the inclusivity in punk is so loving and heartfelt. And I remember being in the crowd and stuff, and like how people are so kind in the pit and everything, or everywhere. Like you can fall, they'll catch you. I found my shoe, bro.
Yeah,
you know?
and just like, but
some guy offered me water, and I was like, I don't want your random, but I appreciate you though.
Right. What's so cool about Green Day too is that like something that I see more and more is that Green Day really is like how you say for the fans.
Yeah, man.
Where just even comparatively, you look at a band like say Blink, where Blink doesn't really do certain things the way that Green Day does.
I think their personalities must be
like,
crazy different though.
And so it's just that's what I think is interesting, because it's like Green Day, like I mentioned, I missed those 3 opportunities of missing them here in New
Irving
York.
Plaza, the train station, and where else?
Their Rough Trade show.
They were also on Howard Stern, which you couldn't have access to.
Yeah. So it's like they did all those things, and it's like that was basically like all super like free or just super affordable to do so.
That's something they said in the interview. They were like, we're always gonna play small venues. We're never not gonna give up on the chance to play somewhere where we could be close to the fans. Yeah.
And that's something that Blink doesn't really do anymore. Like
too big.
They're kind of like, I don't know, they're just weird about it. And it's just, they still love their fans. And like, even when they're in the other places around the world, like they'll go out to meet their fans and shit like that. But like, they never do like small shows or small gigs anymore.
I think that's what it is though. With there was something in this interview that I heard that was kind of in relation to that. But I also think that there's a punk attitude that is very stereotypical that I think melds well with how Blink-182 is being described right now. And I think Green Day is so outlandish as to what you would think a punk artist is. Like you hear him on fucking thing, he's like, you know, whatever, but he's like a fucking sweetheart, bro. Like this guy is so sweet.
Yeah.
And it's like almost the opposite of what you would think a punk artist is, you know? And but it's amazing how real it is, because their whole history has just been shown. Like they're just really trying to play music and like spread love, and it's amazing. And then I remember when I seen only a little bit of Blink-182 play, like even when Mark Hoppus is the singer or the bassist,
both singer and bassist.
Who's the singer? What's it called when he got pushed on stage? Like, and he almost looks like he has a serious face how he played. And I feel like just mentally, I'm not mentally. Personality wise, of course they differ. Like you know, not one's right, not one's wrong. But yeah, it's very interesting to me.
I find it interesting. So it's just
man.
Yeah, I mean, like with this album in particular.
Real quick, I'll just say this. Sorry, my bad. I got mad facts. In terms of the Gilman, so because Green Day got so famous, when they had their chance to be real famous and everything, they had to realize that they weren't allowed to play there no more. At the Gilman, because no famous people, and they were like, "Fuck," you know. But they said, "But now we have an opportunity to shoot in an actual studio and make more music and stuff." So, I think now his sons have played there, and when there was a fire, they were asked to come back to the Gilman and play for like raising money and stuff. That's crazy though, right? Like how true Gilman is to like, nah, like if you're gonna be here, like it's nothing about that, and it's so amazing. That's how music should thrive, you know?
I mean, because. And you know that's why I love going to shows early and stuff to catch the openers and whatnot.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's also why I don't like listening to the openers before I go. I like just being exposed to it in that moment,
because that's how they intend for you to hear them. How they would want to. In this day and age, is so rare.
Yeah,
but that's how you find.
Like I just saw Neck Deep live a couple weeks ago, and this one all the three bands that opened for them had never seen either of them or heard of their music ever. And the second band that played, Bearings, I was like, yo, these guys are really fucking good.
I remember I asked you. Remember I texted you randomly. I was like, yo, what was that band that opened for? Was it the band we watched in the city? It was American something like that.
Menzinger's State Champs.
I don't know why I think American, but somebody had opened up for the State Champs.
Sherry Amore.
There we go. And there was one song in my brain. I was like, what the fuck song was that? I'm gonna mention it here because I didn't look it up, but when you told me, I was like, now I could look them up and hear that song. Actually, I did look it up. I just don't remember the songs at all. But yeah, I mean that's the cool thing about music, man. It's just you hear that shit randomly, and it's crazy.
And it's just I'm so excited to see this. To see them live this summer. It's gonna be so fucking great. It's gonna be at Citi Field. And
I'm gonna go. I don't care how much money. I'll go with you, bro. I don't know if you have tickets already.
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna buy tickets.
It's like I last time I checked, it was like $500 for a pig ticket.
I'm going. I'm 100% going. There's no way I'm not. Bro, this album is so fucking good. Like getting back to the album, it's incredible, man. It's that my first listen. What I thought was, this is crazy how. And I didn't know what time period it was. That's the crazy thing about it. It's so fucking catchy. It's so like instrumentally incredible. But then I was like, if this is new, this is way too good for it to be new. You know? And if it's old, like where the fuck was this a while back? You know what I'm trying to say?
Like, why am I just hearing this now?
But god damn, can they write hits? There's like fucking the whole album is hits.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
It's good shit, man. What's really cool about this album, I'll start playing some of the music too.
Yeah, please do.
But what's great about this album is that
I should put it on shuffle so it just shuffles because
gotcha.
I know the order already, so I know what's coming.
But this is their 14th album.
Wow,
and that's a lot.
Yeah,
they made a lot of music now.
Yeah,
and they have definitely sort of kind of gone through ups and downs in terms of like musically. Like some of their albums like are loved and hated more by fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen like memes on the Green Day subreddit where people kind of like, have you seen that mining meme where it's like
almost there?
Yeah,
like you're right there when then you give up before you mine 1 more inch forward.
And that's what people are saying about Saviors, where it's like the last like few or so albums from Green Day have been a little
right.
But
because I've heard nothing about Green Day since.
Yeah, because like the previous album that came out before this was called Father of All Motherfuckers. And there aren't any big singles or big tracks off of that album particularly. I personally rarely listen to that album, but the album before that, Revolution Radio, which came out in 2016, I like that album. I've
heard of that album. Like I've heard of that album a lot.
Yeah, so it like the fact that it's been a while since they've released something. It's been quite some time. This was a big return for the band, and this whole album's got fucking 15 tracks.
Nice.
And they like to say that Saviors is an invitation into Green Day's brain, their collective spirit as a band, and as an understanding of friendship, culture, and legacy of the last 30 plus years.
Wow.
And another fun fact I'll throw in too is that I can't remember if I mentioned it to you already about how at the New Year's show where they played, they changed their line in American Idiot to don't want to be part of a redneck agenda to don't want to be part of a MAGA agenda.
Really?
So they changed that lyric, and that caused a whole stir online where all these right wing like
he also yelled "Kill Donald Trump," right? Something like that.
Actually,
what did he yell
about that?
Something like that. You should Google it if you want, but I think. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't look this up, but I did watch some of the New Year's performances. But I'm pretty sure he yelled like "Kill Donald Trump" during the set. If I'm wrong, my bad, Billy Joe. I'll give you a fun fact real quick. What I learned is that when they were younger, what's it called? Did he or not?
Nah.
No, he didn't. He yelled nothing. Look, Billy Joe yelled.
He said, "Fuck you, Donald Trump."
Fuck you, Donald Trump. There we go. Whoops. Same thing.
Fucking, I'm gonna clip that.
Whoops. No, what's it called? When they were coming up, when they were much younger. This is a great little documentary too. I'm sure there's way more in-depth ones, but if you want to ever watch it, it's called. Just Google YouTube Green Day doc. It's the first one to pop up. Called The Early Years. They were talking about like when he was in high school. That's when he pretty much left. You know, so he kind of dropped out of high school, and then when they would go on tour and stuff, like they would drive out to like Pennsylvania, and then they were thinking like, oh, we're gonna perform for like 30, 50 people. It would be like 6 people there, to perform in front of. But one of them was saying that like the way these guys perform just for 6 people is the same if they would a whole stadium,
right?
And they were like, these guys are gonna be something special, And apparently when they did Woodstock, I'm pretty sure you heard about this.
Oh yeah, that's something I was gonna bring up as well.
You tell it.
Yeah, so it was Woodstock. I forget which year. I think it was maybe 94, 97.
Yeah.
But they were invited to play Woodstock, and there was a lot of talk of that this could be sort of like the big
make or break
moment for the band, like depending on how well this performance went. Because Woodstock is definitely more like hippie stuff and whatever the case is. So it's like to bring a punk band to Woodstock was kind of like, whoa, what are they doing here? And they absolutely killed it. People were loving it, and then people started just throwing mud because it's fucking Woodstock, and so they just started throwing mud, and mud started getting on them and on their instruments, and like at some point the instruments just stopped working because they were covered in mud, so they just started throwing mud back, and it turned into this huge mud fight, and Billy Joe even pulled down his pants, and this was all on like pay-per-view and stuff, and so like his mom would like call them later and was just like, what's wrong with you? Why would you pull down your pants on television? Like your dad would be so disappointed in you right now, this and that.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? When the first time they played Madison Square Garden, so he was saying, Billy Joe was saying like, shit, man, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to play here again. And so he was like, fuck it, I'm going to get naked. And so he got on stage naked apparently. And then the other guy, the bassist, Mike, what's his name? Mike what?
Mike Dirnt.
He was like about to perform, and he looks over, and then on the interview he says like, oh yeah, my guy, he's naked. All right, let's go do this show. And I just think like, man, like that's so fucking cool because this is what a free spirit is. Like, you got your chance, now you're riding with it, and like that's what being yourself is. Not, I mean, again, you're naked and go outside. That's your thing. There's a lot of people do that in general for free in New York City. But like that's how, like, I get it. I get that completely. Right. And it's amazing to me. And they had asked them a question about just like, what do you think this album Saviors says? Because there's a lot of talk on like, I forget which one this talks about, the living in the 20s, school shootings and dystopia and stuff like that. And,
fucking robots.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Literally. And one of the answers was like, Billy Joe says, what's the word when you're paraphrasing. He's like, look, I get it, like, because when you hear a person say fuck the system, right? If they're 20 years old, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I get that kid, right? But when you're like 50 years old, you're like, oh, you know, like what, you know?
Yeah.
And for him, it was like, but that's still, that was interesting. That was interestingly phrased to me, you know, because you're right. Like if we said at 18 years old, man, fuck college, man, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go do something else. People be like, yeah, bro, but you're just like 35. You're like, yo, you gotta get a job.
And I've definitely brought this up on the show before of this little quote thing where someone says something along the lines of like, you know, when you're at the age of 20, you're a rebel at heart, but by the time you turn 30, you've turned establishment, and it's like it just really plays on that idea of like, as you get older, you kind of do fall into the system, and it's like,
and almost because you're. I mean, mentally, you could stay in that, you know, same sense, but you're visualized as someone who's already fallen into the, you know?
And so it's just, I think like what Billy Joe tries to do in at most is maneuver through it. And even in a song like this, Living in the 20s, it's like he's basically just kind of saying we're all in this shit show.
Hell yeah.
So it's just kind of like, you know, you just got to write it out.
It's a perfect time for this song, man. It's so fucking good. I will say it hasn't come on yet, but with Dilemma, I was going to work on a Saturday once. So, you know, Saturday, last night was Friday or whatever. And
that's how the week works. Those how days work.
Oh, no, actually, it might have been Sunday. The day we were for the shoot, I was still coming to LIC, right? So whatever. One of those days. But I think I was going to work. No, I was going to work. Never mind. All right, it was a Saturday. So I go, and so I walk, and I'm walking to the train, and Dilemma's playing. Can you play Dilemma actually real quick? Because I want to kind of paint the picture. So... if you listen to this episode, I'm assuming you've heard the album, and if you haven't, go listen to the album and then come back and listen. So then I walk, and the first thing I see on top of the trash can, which I've definitely got fucked up before, got White Castle and ate on top of that trash can. Like, this is a true story, you know? So I know who was there. And I walk past it, and I see a phone, right? I see a phone there.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, damn, I kind of want to get that because I've been there. I've lost my phone drunk. I want to grab that phone. I want to give it back to somebody, right? But then I'm like, I'm on my way to work, and I'm like, nah, you know. I leave it there because it could also have been somebody else's, you know. But being that it was in a trash can, and when a drunk person finds something to like put the shit on, they're gonna do it, right? So I leave it, and then I walk to the train, and then I go into the train. I pay. It's Saturday, by the way, morning, and then I walk. I'm listening to the song, right? Right. Drink that poison, you know.
Yeah.
And then I look on the floor, and there's vomit. And I see the vomit, and then I just start smiling. I just start like, wow, man, like this is like, and
that's
it's a perfect,
uncanny.
it's a perfect song that aids that moment. Because again, like I've been there, but in an Uber, you know, like, you know. And then I get a train to work, and then that was it. But bro, by the time I get into the train, I almost started crying. Like it was so like, I'm not saying it for like one thing or the other, or trying to cover the topic of drinking, whatever. But for me, I was like, this is like crazy, you know. I mean, it's probably pretty obvious since it was Saturday morning, you know, like, you know, but it was so cool to relate the song to that,
right?
And it was dope. It was really fucking. I mean,
this
dope.
is just such a great song. I love this song,
and it's so catchy.
It really is.
One of the things is, I don't want to be a dead man walking, you know. So it's like it's pretty much talking about like drug use. Even the video, I watched all the music videos.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so, the music videos are great.
Yeah, it just shows him getting more drunk, and by the end of the night, he goes home, and his family's there disappointed in him because he's drunk, and then he like grabs the Christmas tree and falls under it.
Yeah,
and everybody's sad. The kid is sad. And that shit hit me in the heart. I was like, oh my God, bro. But it's very serious. It's a real topic. Yeah,
and
you know?
And Billy Joe himself had dealt with a lot of drug problems at a certain point throughout their career, because they just got so big that he was just kind of getting fucked up a lot.
You don't write a song like this without knowing what it is from experience.
He has opened up about his sobriety now, where he has sort of like gone back to drinking, whatever, but like he does it more responsibly now, with ease. He doesn't get crazy anymore. So it's just like he definitely, this song is very personal to him.
Oh man, that shit personal to me, bro. That shit I mean, it's a great fucking song, but when I heard it for the first time, I'm like, yo, it's so good, bro. And he can sing so well. His range is super crazy, bro. But when I heard him perform this live at the Irving Plaza, I was like, they gotta, even the comment was like, oof, they gotta work on their timing with this one, or that one, or Bobby Sox. One of them was like, yeah, because the screaming, it must be so strenuous on the fucking throat.
I think it might have been Bobby Sox for that one, because like I even remember seeing in someone's comment of like, I fucking love this song, but there's no way it's gonna sound like this live.
Yeah. Oh my, even in the video too, like I don't know, they used a certain camera to get the film because it was super throwback kind of film.
Right.
Yeah,
like 90s throwback type of thing.
Those videos were fucking so this is how, like, again, I started off the research for Green Day with the little doc, right? I was like, let me check out this doc, and then I was like, all right, let me go watch this interview, and then I was like, all right, let me go watch the music videos. I was like, all right, let me.
You went down the beehole.
Yeah, man, it was. It's super insane how like great this album is, man. And I was excited the whole time coming over here. I was like, damn, man, like the shitty thing about covering this album is that once we cover it, like we're not gonna talk about it no more. Like on the podcast, we'll talk about it, you know, but it's great having centered conversation on it. You know?
Is. Like I think because personally, when I first listened to this album, like I was in love with the A side. The A side I thought was incredible, and the B side I needed to warm up to it a little bit more. But like when it comes to the B side of this album, like I fucking absolutely love Susie Chapstick.
Yes, man. It's
Susie
so
Chapstick
fucking
is so good.
That it's so fucking catchy, man. But it's great song too. Like it's not just
like lyrically and like the melodies and stuff like that.
Asgrid, or what is it? The Goodnight Adeline.
Goodnight Adeline is
that
also
was
great.
A great song, man. Jesus Christ. And then
Father to a Son is beautiful.
Beautiful song. What's it called? Like something about like fuck, let's not whip your hair back and forth. But like the 80s, was it you know what I'm talking about?
Was it Corvette Summer or 1981?
Corvette Summer, I think.
Yeah, Corvette Summer. That fucking cowbell. Oh my god,
so fucking
that shit,
good. Jesus Christ, bro. And then actually, now that you mentioned cowbell, I was thinking when I was hearing it, I was like, at the show, that shit must sound crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
Fucking. Imagine they have like a massive cowbell, just like ding 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 ding.
Nah, man. I think this album is one of those things where it's like, if you ever doubted Green Day to still have it, these motherfuckers still got it, and some. You know, it's insane.
Yeah, and it's just really incredible to think of like where they are now as a band, like about 30 years later,
to still be there. You know,
to still be just fucking making great ass music. Like it's something that's really cool. I'll play this one with Bobby Sox. Is that
that's a great song. Holy shit!
What's really interesting about this song is that even the way it's structured is done very masterfully, where it's like it starts off with this slow opening, right? It's quiet a little bit, and then as by the time he gets to the end of it, there's that bit of silence with the feedback that kicks in.
Ooh, yeah,
and then boom.
Yeah, man.
So it's just I learned boom. Yo, man. So it's just I learned that like the way that song is structured and dynamically structured is very masterful, because it's like I learned that when you have small sounds right before big sounds, it makes those big sounds sound even bigger.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the contrast of it all. And this is something that this song does so well, where it has such a massive contrast.
It makes you so comfortable in that soothingness, and then it brings you in like to like come in there, and then it goes back just so you can chill the fuck out a little bit.
And something I learned too about doing my research is that Billy Joe is also bisexual.
I didn't know that.
And that's why he wrote this song.
So for me, when he said, because the song starts off, do you want to be my girlfriend? Do you want to be my boyfriend? Do you want to be my best friend? But he says, do you want to be my boyfriend more? Right? And then I remember I showed Beatrice, because I showed her all the songs. I was like, yo, check this shit out. I'm only going to play like 15 seconds of all the songs, just so you can see how catchy these shits are, right? And when I showed her Bobby Sox, she was like, ooh, he has a little fluidity to him. And then I didn't know he was bisexual, but I did after seeing they tour with the Pansy Division and stuff. I was like, oh, bro, like this guy and all of them are just about like, who the fuck cares? And again, back to just like when you're at a show, the whole crowd is diverse in all ways. You know, it can be race, sexuality, zers, everything. So like, it's a song for everybody. This is not a song for just, you know, this and this, you know?
Yeah.
Because then he says boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend. And in the fucking in the video, it cuts to like a same-sex couple, and then best friend was the guy with his dog. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome, bro. That dog looked happy as fuck.
And I love the little shot of Mike and Trey kissing Billy on the cheeks.
Yeah, man. I feel like how comfortable they are to like show that in the world, and how that was always their message from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's so crucial right now, and it's just beautiful.
And and going back to even like our sort of Mad Max conversation of like inclusiveness done tastefully.
Exactly. You don't have to fucking just go so hard to send this message, but with good music, man, you can give any message.
Yeah.
Bro. Jesus Christ, the song is so good, bro.
Yeah, man,
so fucking good.
There's a lot of great tracks on this album. Like and like I mentioned with Susie Chapstick, like that opening line, I just love so much.
Play that shit, bro.
Like where he just fucking. What does he say? He goes,
and the titles are great also. Susie Chapstick, Bobby Socks, Dilemma, Goodnight Adeline. I mean, these are Living in 20. These are all great songs, which is a crucial part of an album as well. Super crucial. You don't understand. So.
But when he just says like, "Will I ever see your face again? Not just photos from an Instagram." I'm like, and the way he sings it too, like his cadence,
it's beautiful. His voice is beautiful, and. Back to Bobby Socks. This song is so tropical almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This song reminds me of Alien Love Call from Turnstile. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like it has that like groovy, like tropical kind of feel, kind of jamming out on a beach. Right yeah, bro. Yeah, exactly that. What's it called? And Bobby Socks, he says, "Do you want to be my best friend?" Was it?
Take you to the cemetery.
Oh no, it was like, and I'll bore you. We can fall in love, and I will bore you again. Some shit like that. Like, or like we can watch the movie the same twice. Bro, those lines were so dope, man. I would just like these are, and that's one thing. I think Mike Durrance was saying. He was like, Billy Joe is such a strong songwriter. Yeah, like his capability to write songs is incredible. And I was like, I mean, hell yeah.
Even if you look at like other albums of theirs, like in reference to Dookie and American Idiot, like American Idiot, I feel like is more known for general listeners.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and it's just I was learning about how that whole album kind of happened on accident. Yeah, that like they didn't necessarily intended to like make this concept album. That's just like he had written American Idiot and he was like, I'm kind of fucking with this.
So I'm putting it out. But that changed everything, bro. That song changed everything.
Yeah, and the producer of that album, Rob Cavallo, who also produced Dookie, also produced this album, Saviors. And so it was kind of like a return.
Yeah, give that man a raise. Give that man a raise.
And so it's just when Billy Joe had showed Rob this American Idiot, he was like, this is like amazing. Like we need to do something with this right now. And like then he wrote after that song he wrote, I believe, What's Her Name on that album, and then wrote Jesus of Suburbia. And then that's when all these characters started kind of connecting in his head, where he was like, oh, like you got this character and this person, that person, this is the story and whatever. And it just happened on accident, and it would not have been done if not for Rob Cavallo.
It's amazing.
And it goes back to even how we talked about the good Asian, when you have a good editor.
Yes.
Like a producer is very much so an editor of music.
100%. They did mention Rob Cavallo because I thought about that when I was watching the interview. But pretty much everything you're saying, I just forgot the name and everything.
Yeah, and so when you really have someone that's pushing you to your limit and just really saying like and like Whiplash almost.
My temple.
But it's just they have such a great relationship with this Rob Cavallo guy, and it's like
that's what it takes, though, man. I think sometimes people think they can do it themselves, and you can't. Like, and not saying you can't, but some people can't. Some people are like, you're able to do it, and you can do it, but you're much better off like getting help. Have somebody else to like just tweak it for you, or not even tweak it, just like say maybe you should tweak it this direction. And I won't change it. I don't want to change anything. I want you to come up with it on your own. Right. Personally, though, I think this. Also, fun fact: Jesus of Suburbia. That's what it's called. Yeah. That's Mike off the rip. Like quick answer. That's Mike Drentz, right? Drentz. That's his favorite song to play.
Nice.
Yeah, they asked him. They were like, "All right, quick fire answers. Boom. What's your favorite song to play?" He said, "Jesus of Suburbia." But it was hard for them. They were all answering like,
Yeah.
I think Billy Joe said his favorite song of this album off the rip was Father of a Son.
Nice.
And I forget what Trey says. My bad.
But dude, when they ended their set with Jesus of Suburbia when we were
I don't
young,
think I've heard that song, man.
it's a 9-minute song. It's like a
Jesus
9.5
Christ.
minute song.
So that must have been awesome for everybody.
Like,
right?
dude, as soon as that came on, I was like, this has to be the last song. I'm there like SpongeBob, like
and I want to go home, Grandpa. What else? Too damn bad.
and like I look over and the pit's just going for the first minute of Jesus of Suburbia, and I was like, I'm good. I'm like, this is a 9-minute song. I'll jump in at minute 5.
Yeah, the SpongeBob me with the hand on this.
That's exactly what that was exactly me, man. Like, dude, I am so to this day, I'm so shocked.
To this day.
I'm so shocked I didn't get sick at that festival.
Why?
Because I was drinking motherfuckers' waters left and right.
Yo, man, that's mad fun. Because I feel that. Because some motherfuckers need water. And when that guy offered me the water at the state champ show, I was like, man, I feel the love. Trust me. I speak nothing of good things when I go to these shows. But I'm not drinking your motherfucking water. But I get it. Because you were in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
You're hot as fuck over there. You're probably thirsty as shit. Water is expensive, right? Yeah, no. You had your socks on.
I have these same socks, actually.
That's mad funny. Bobby socks.
Bobby socks.
What's it called? Now that shit is crazy. I remember, just quick story. I was at the state champ show. Just having a blast. We all got separated. I was on my lonesome. And then there's a big girl there, right? And some guy, we've been broing it out the whole time. Like, he had my back, I had his back the whole time.
Right.
Whenever we needed help, like picking people up. And he taps me on the shoulder. I look over at him and I see him next to this big girl. She's big. And he's like, yo, I'm like, what's up? He's like, yo, help me pick her up. I was like, I got you, bro. Not knowing what the fuck I was going to get myself into, bro. And mind you, no disrespect, she's a big girl. And so I go, bro, we try to pick her up. I was like, yeah. Exactly that, bro. That shit did not happen. And we were like, she was like, don't worry about it. I was like, I won't. I got the fuck. That was my bro, though, but hell no. Motherfuckers trying to do the impossible. Yeah, she was a big girl, though. Big girl.
You know what's so funny about that night, too? This song is also great. Good night, Adeline. But when we were leaving from the venue, you, me, and Jordan, and when Jordan tried to throw that thing out in the trash.
Wait, we're talking about
when we were leaving from State Champs, and we literally just crossed the street, and there was a trash can in the corner, and Jordan tries to toss something out of the trash, and completely fucking airs it. Completely airs it, and we just start dying because there were these two girls at the show walking our direction, so it's just like they just completely saw what happened.
And he really well, like, it just went quiet and just
and you just see it tumble like almost into the middle of the street, and Jordan's like, ah, damn it. And he goes to pick it up, and he goes to pick it up and goes to throw it out. And like apparently like one of those girls turns around to say something to Jordan, and Jordan comes back and he's like, oh yeah, she just said, I'm really glad you turned around to pick that up. And we're like, oh, good for you, Jordan. And he just goes, yeah, you see, Riz.
Shout out Jordan, bro. Put a picture of Jordan right here if you want. He also took a picture of the concert with the Nintendo DS.
Yep, he did that. And at the Neck Deep show, someone else also did that. It's just a trend, man. People are just doing that. Like, I don't understand, but whatever, man.
Yo, next episode, film the Nintendo DS.
Our GoPro.
Exactly. GoPro DS. It does have a double screen.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That's not what it stands for, right? DS doesn't stand for double screen.
It does.
Oh, never mind.
Dual screen.
There was something that he said. Oh, that's probably what it was. I thought it was double screen and it's dual screen.
Dual screen.
Man, that shit is crazy, bro. I've been playing so much. Shout out Saviors. I've been playing so much Resident Evil on the little thing you got me, the Game Boy shit.
Nice.
That shit is fun, bro.
Nice, dog.
It's so fucking hard because it's just old controls, not even the device. That I just fell in love with that. I was like, God, that's fucking awesome. And Beatrice brought it to her family's house the other day, and she handed it to her niece, right?
Ooh.
And so she handed it to her niece because she needed them to play in the meantime,
right?
And immediately the niece tries to touch the screen.
Wow,
and isn't that interesting? How it's crazy. Like everybody thinks, and man, I still every now and then, very rarely, but the other day I look at my iPhone, I'm like, this is insane. We have the whole world in our phones right now. We can do anything.
Did I tell you that recently, like because I've been doing a lot of my art recently digitally.
What?
But I've been doing a lot of my art digitally recently.
Yeah.
And one of the like gestures on digital is that if you double tap the screen of two fingers, well, not double tap, if you just tap the screen of two fingers, it'll undo whatever you just did.
Gotcha.
And I like, after digital drawing for a while, the next time that I drew physically, I deadass had a second where I almost like tapped the paper with my two fingers.
That's interesting, bro.
And I was like, oh God, what am I doing?
I gotta go touch grass.
Yeah, I was like, where's the grass? Where's the grass? I gotta touch it. But it's a real fucking thing, man.
Yeah,
like, but it's just, I mean, I don't know, to come back to Saviors. To come back to Saviors. I even Strange Days Are Here to Stay, like because that's the one that ends with him like screaming at the top of his lungs, and I just absolutely love that. I was like, fuck, man, like his voice is incredible. And
it's incredible.
Like, I know we'll never hear that song live because I would probably kill him,
right? I don't know how he's able to go on stage. I hear I don't know how long they are on a stage, but I heard that when they perform like 3 hours straight, nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, there's no break. It's just constant music.
Yeah,
music,
man.
music.
I mean, when we were young, I was dead ass like, like they went. I swear they went on Pass Her Time.
Wow.
I swear they went on Pass Her Time.
But they could do that. They're Green Day, bro. They can do whatever the fuck
they want.
I really wish I seen them on the train or something.
Like,
knowing me though, like, cause I haven't listened to his album, so if I had seen them on the train, I would be like, who the fuck is that? I don't care. Then I would be like, oh look, Jimmy Fallon. Right? Who the fuck is that guy?
But just
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Josh was even saying that like he was surprised to hear that Green Day is bigger than Blink because he was like, no way, Blink is way bigger than Green Day. I was like, nah, man.
I would have said Green Day is bigger than Blink before this album because in general I've heard of more Green Day in my whole life. You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. The fans in the crowd must be so wild, and they were saying something about like how they wanted Saviors to be like. What this time I may be wrong about this, but how Dookie was to other people, they wanted Saviors to be like this to younger people.
Yeah, because you know? I think I know what you're talking about. Because there was something that I saw where like Mike Dirnt was saying about how he'll see fans at the shows and shit and kind of like gauge how old they are and stuff. And when he does talk to the fans, they'll be like, oh yeah, like this was like my first album or whatever that I listened to from you guys. And he says that he'll kind of do the mental math of like, okay, so like,
I think we've seen the same interview then, because then based off that, you got to be like 18 or some shit like that.
Right.
This is where the three interview on a couch and talking to some guy.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about that? That whole interview, I feel, let's put them up right here, whatever they are. Right? And the whole time they interview, you finished what you were saying. My bad.
No, I mean, I was just gonna say that is an interesting thing where it's like
you can base
they wanted to make this album for something of like this generation while also making it timeless.
Exactly.
It's like it's a fine line, but I think
they met that fine line right to the T.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the interviewer when he was interviewing, I was like, damn, this guy's so uncoordinated with how he's speaking, like he's mumbling his word. You know, I'm not saying you gotta be perfect, but there are some great interviewers, and he was kind of like, and at the end he's like. By the way, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. I was so nervous to meet you. All of us here love your music so much. I was so nervous to talk. I was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Like he must have been. I thought he knew them. I thought he was just cool with them like that. I didn't know you were cool like that.
Yeah, man.
But he must have been so fucking nervous, bro.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Like I even think about when I met Blink and like how I just. I was a little starstruck. I didn't really know what to say.
Yeah.
But it's just I think I've personally gotten to a point now where I don't think I would become starstruck. I don't know. I even with this song Fancy Sauce where he talks about like I'm so famous, you're so famous.
Exactly.
Like
it's really human.
Yeah, it's really this idea of like we're all in the same boat. And it's just that's why. And I think also I've become a little comfortable with that idea of meeting sort of celebrities and famous people because of Comic-Con and meeting these writers and artists all the time. And it's just like, again, they're just human. We are all just human.
Yeah. I felt bad when I'm not in meet Eric Andre. I'm not gonna lie and say I met him, but I did see him in Union Square, and I seen him. And did I tell you this already?
I don't know.
I was walking around Union Square, and then I looked to my left, and usually I'll tell Beatrice like, "See, this guy looks like Chadwick Boseman, right? Rest in peace." I'll be like, "Oh, look, it's Chadwick Boseman over there," and she'll look and she'll laugh because they'll resemble, not because they're black, because they resemble each other. I could have said the same about like anybody, right? Okay. Anyway, I see some guy and I'm like, oh look, it's Eric Andre. And she looks over and she's like, oh ha ha, and she looks away. I'm like, no, that's dead ass Eric Andre right there. And she's like, what, for real? I'm like, yeah, like look, and because I looked and I thought I made a joke, but then I was like, oh shit, that's him.
Right.
And I was like, and then I was like, damn, I want to say hi, but he has his earphones in, like he's super in the way, and so I just go up to him. I felt bad, but I didn't like ask him to talk. I just go up to him and he's like kind of making the like at me, and I was like, yo, can I give you a dab? And I just put my hand up and he dabs me. I just walk away.
Nice.
Because that must be annoying for him too. For
Right,
him, people to be
course.
like, yo, can I get a picture? And as much as I would love to take a picture, I'm comfortable with the fact that I just wanted to. For me, when I meet somebody like that, like I just literally all I want to do is say like, thank you for making me laugh.
Right.
Like like when I meet comedians, like barely, I just like when they offer a picture, I was like, cool, if they offer it,
Right.
But like if I meet somebody, I'll just give him a dap. Like when I saw Shane Gillis, man, and this is before like he's huge already. But this is before he was like, now he's on SNL. Now he has a Netflix show coming out.
I actually watched his monologue. On
Yeah,
SNL.
man. He was nervous. If you watch his stuff like originally, like he's less nervous. But mind you, this is a guy who did a monologue, kicked off SNL, probably gonna be hated on. Like all the comments on his monologue are like, this guy fucking sucks. He said the R word, you know what I mean? Like, but he's fucking funny, bro. And when I met him, he was just such a cool dude. Because I didn't meet him again. It was just more like a passing by on the stairs. And I look behind, I'm behind him walking up because we both got to go up the stairs. And I'm like, yo, you Shane Gillis? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yo, you're fucking mad funny, bro. I saw you in Kill Tony. And he just turns around and he's like, thanks, bro. And he gives me a dab, and I'm like, hell yeah. And I met like Ari Shaffir. I met Dave Attell. Ari Shaffir is a comedian. I was pretty drunk, I'm not going to lie. And it's like the first couple times I took Beatrice to go see him. And then he was walking across the street and we had just got out the stand. And I'm like, yo, Ari Shaffir. And he deadass comes across the street and he says, like, what's up? I'm like, yo, I'm pretty drunk. I'm like, yo, can my girlfriend take a picture with you?
I remember this one, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, of course. And she was wearing a shirt to show her tits a little bit. And so he pulled down his shirt to show his tits. And I was like, yo, can I take a picture with you? And he's so kind. Like, he was so kind to do that. Yeah, man. I think it's cool. But again, I just really want to like him. I've seen him a couple times already. Just beehole, but now I think when I meet somebody that I'm really like fond of in terms of like entertainment, I just want to say like thank you for making me laugh. Yeah. If I saw a director, like if I saw Quentin Tarantino, man, probably don't like the attention, but I'd be like, yo, thank you for making great movies. You know, just real quick. You know, you owe it to them at the very least. You know,
I feel like because I don't know if I ever told you this, but Green Day is the reason why I started playing guitar.
That's awesome, bro.
I
think they would love to have heard that. You know what I mean?
They're the reason why I started.
That's
and
awesome.
Like I learned so much of their music in like the first month of me playing the guitar. Wow. And then that's when I discovered Blink. And then that's when I really like was like, yo. I was like
you should cover a Savior song for sure.
I definitely want to.
That's so
like
cool.
If out of any of them, I would probably cover either Bobby Sox or Dilemma.
Yeah. Well, what was that person that was talking about Green Day so emphatically that she had I don't know, my bad, but the whole tattoo was arm painted like tattooed black, and the band was called like
Against Me.
Yeah. Who was that?
That I don't listen
singer?
to them. That's the singer to them. I don't listen to them too much.
Yeah.
But I have some of their songs saved. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
I just wanted to mention how excited they were to talk about Green Day. Literally, like the clip you saw was them being like, "Oh, you know, they bring kids on stage, and you know, now they want to start a band." But every clip of them talking is that excited.
Yeah,
they're nonstop excited talking about Green Day.
And what's cool too is that with the sort of inspiration that they've had on so many other bands and whatnot. There are so many bands that like are trying to be the next Green Day.
That's tough.
It's tough.
That's tough.
It's really tough.
Yeah,
and it's just I think that's so cool because it's like I think of like the first punk show that I went to, which was Blink-182 at LPR, where we went to for state champs.
Hell yeah.
And it's like
that's a nice ass venue.
Yeah, and it's like. Yeah. You know, I don't think anyone's ever gonna forget their first concert. Never. And like, especially going to a Green Day concert, like that shit would blow your mind.
I'm trying to think of my first concert. I think it was Logic. It was awesome.
This fucking guy.
No, that's when Logic was fucking amazing. Like he was doing meet and greets too, but we were all waiting in the fucking cold. And and I tell you, if you listen to old Logic and you were back like when I think we were in middle school and stuff. And even now, like now, if you listen to it, I don't give a fuck. That guy had bars. I think that was my first concert, and that was awesome. Bro, like, we're gonna see Danny Brown this month.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm excited,
Oh,
bro.
another thing I wanted to say too is that with One-Eyed Bastard. One-Eyed Bastard is
Yeah.
also a really great song.
Okay.
And what's really funny about that is like the chorus with it, like the bada bing, bada bing,
Uh-huh,
bada boom.
yeah.
Like what's really funny about that is that someone made a meme on the Green Day subreddit where it was those doggo memes where it's like the one doggo is like a little like sad looking, the other one is like super big and like tough. And it was like the first one is the lyrics to Basket Case where it's like, do you have the time to now like Green Day now like, bada bing, bada boom.
You better have the time. Man, his face expression for the video of Basket Case, I can't say that correct, it's so great. Like it literally sums up his attitude. You know what I mean? It's insane. But I'm sure you know this. Everybody knows this now. I didn't know this until I found out about it, like when I watched the interview. But that's the last thing I'll say. Like fucking, they were saying how that song is about like his panic disorder and this and that, like anxiety and stuff. And which is, you know, given that the video was shot in like almost like a
mental ward type of thing,
it makes a little sense. You can kind of get it off. But then Mike Dirnt, he says, and if you think about it, like at the time nobody was really talking about mental health. Yeah. And I was like, wow, like that's true. And even if it wasn't addressing it fully, and it pretty much does if you listen, but it really is like putting it out there in the world to be like, we're listening, we know how you feel,
right?
And wow, it's incredible that that's still pretty much the case with this one, just on a different kind of aspect in terms of like world, like how the world is now, and it's incredible, bro.
I'll throw one last fun fact for you.
Hell yeah!
But since we're running out of time, but I don't know how many people know this, but the title to "Wake Me Up When September Ends"
about his father, right?
The whole song is about his dad, like who did pass away. But the inspiration, more so, is that when his dad had passed away, and when he heard the news, he ran to his room and like slammed the door closed and like threw himself on the floor and just started crying and stuff. Like, and his mom like comes over to try to open the door and stuff, like, come on, Billy, let me in. And he tells her, "Wake me up when September ends."
Oh, that's so sad.
So that's the title of the song, and that's where it kind of came from.
That's so sad.
And it's just it really goes to show like how
I just want to give this guy a hug, man.
Yeah,
I just want to give this guy a hug, man.
And it's Jesus Christ. It goes to show how entwined he is into his music. He really wants his music to say something, and it does,
and you feel it. Ah, man, he does. If everybody was asked like, what are you supposed to do with music, you just show them Green Day, and it's incredible, bro. Jesus Christ. Well, this was one of my favorite AMCs to ever talk about ever. Hell yeah, bro. Thank you for fucking showing me this. Jesus Christ. Boom. Fucking goddamn Link.
This dude's fucking slumped. Oh my God.
He's like, this album sucks.
That's like the Halo 2 death pose.
That'll be good, bro. Well, thank you for listening. Please listen to the album.
Thank you. Listen to Green Day's Saviors.
And then come back. If you heard this and you were like, man, what the fuck are they talking about? Go listen to that whole album in full. If you don't like it, get the fuck away from here. No, I'm kidding. But if you liked it, then come back and listen. You're gonna get everything we're saying.
Catch them on tour this year. They're gonna be all over the place this summer.
I can't wait to go fucking see them, bro.
But catch us on the socials.
Earth Mind Matter Pod on TikTok and Instagram, and Earth Mind Matter on YouTube. Check out Javi's covers on Blink Javi. What is it? Javi Blink?
Javi Blink.
Javi_Blink, right?
Yes, sir.
On YouTube. Mask NYC if you want to check out a little throwback of me with some beautiful footage. MSK NYC on YouTube.
Yeah, had some really good settings for that.
I know, right? and then what's it called? Venmo us. No, I'm kidding. We're out of here.
Venmo Link.
Exactly. Just end with shout link.
Fucking